So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Chill Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're going to talk about the seventh album by the band Wolfheart, and the album is called Draconian Darkness. So, they're a Finnish melodic death metal band, and they've been around since 2012. This first started as a solo project for Tuomas Sokonen. I'm sorry if I butchered that. And after that, it became a full band, but it started like as a solo project for him. And they've been very consistent with their sound. Melodic death metal. There's many bands that do that, and sometimes you have to do different things to stand out. Something that this band does really well is Tuomas does the growling type of vocals really well, but he has two members of the band who do backing vocals, and some of them do the cleans, and that's Lauri Silvonen and Vargelis Karsis. And I must say that the drumming here by Johannes Kaupinen is very good. Sometimes the blast beats on these songs are great, but something that they added with Draconian Darkness that wasn't in the repertoire was orchestration. And yes, there's been a lot of orchestration recently in different bands. Like, for example, the last Winter Song album has orchestration, but it sounds like too over the top and too forced in that album for me. But I think Wolfheart does a great way of blending their melodic death style with the orchestration. Like, it blends together, and it doesn't overpower their sound. Like, they still sound like Wolfheart, but I think that the orchestration that is used on these songs really adds more layering and textures to these songs. It puts the band on a different playing field. I think this is something that the band will explore in future albums, and I think it really suits well in this album. So the album has 9 tracks, and it's 39 minutes in length. So in 39 minutes, they pack a whole lot of music and different elements to these songs. Something that with melodic death is sometimes it can sound similar, but I think what they did is they have subtle changes in orchestration that give these songs more variety and make some of the songs stand out and be different. Also, I gotta say, I never got bored or drifted with this album. I think the song placements for this album are great because they always kept me engaged, and that's the sign of a great record, when you can keep engaged with it and not be like a record that, for example, it has all the great tracks at the beginning and then it kind of dips. This didn't happen to me with this record. I think it always kept me engaged, and they did subtle differences to keep me interested in the music I was listening to. So obviously I've had the chance to listen to this record various times because I actually interviewed Tuomas on the channel a month ago, and we talked about this record. So I have been listening to this record many times, so I feel confident about talking about it and what I think makes this a very good album. So the album has a great opening track and a great closing track, and that's something that some albums don't do. Sometimes they open strongly and they finish with a whimper, but not Wolfheart. The starting song, Asian Cold, which has a music video that they recently released, it's great because you get that orchestration and that mellow death combined, and you really, through the music, are transported to Iceland, like what they do in the music video. I'm before I saw the music video, when I was listening to that track, I'm yeah, I feel like I'm transported to a place full of ice. So the music does that, and once you see the music video, it's yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking about. The harsh vocals here are really good, but when the clean comes, it just gives it a variety, and makes the songs work so well, because it has that duality of like the harsh with the cleans. And the clean singing on this album is top notch. I think it enhances the songs and the melodic and orchestration that these songs have, because the orchestration is there, but it doesn't like overpower the sound where like the guitar sounds too in the back. No, they sound like they're in the same sound, and it really is a very cohesive sound. Then you have tracks like Eventful, like again, great. The drumming is so good on this record, and again, the way they do the melodic depth with the orchestration, it really enhances. Other tracks that follow, I think, are great at keeping the momentum. But another standout track is the song Scion of the Flame. That one starts more mellow, and the clean vocal starts the song. And then it goes into harsher territory. But I like that they can do a song and start like a more clean guitar and like clean vocals, and not be like all the time like harsh or like try to be death metal all the time. They can play with the pacing really well. The song that follows, Great, was the initial single that they released for this record, and I can see why. This song has everything, every element that they use on this record. It starts more with like a soft piano, which takes time to build, and then you get the super melodic guitars with the super fast drumming, and the song goes into peaks and valleys. You know, it goes through harsher, and then it slows down a little bit. It feels almost like you're standing next to a grave and you're being pulled under. Such a great track, and I think they used that as a single because it has all the elements that are shown on this record. The album then doesn't let up. I think they save almost the best tracks for the end, with Trial by Fire and The Gale. Trial by Fire, it's such a kick-ass song. You know, it's again great guitar solos on that one. The way the song flows is just great, and almost all their songs are like in the 3.5 minute to 4 minute mark, so they know how to keep a song not be super short, but also not be too short. There's a little bit ones that are shorter. They know when to expand a little bit on the sound and let the music breathe. And I think Trial by Fire is great because it's a really like aggressive tune, but with that melodic sense to it. And I can see why they chose that also as a single. It's a very strong song, and it has some great choruses to boot on that track. And then the album ends with the song The Gale, and that is such a great closing track. It starts with an acoustic guitar and clean singing, very beautiful. It feels like type of serene, like you're like at the end of a journey, but then it picks up and it gets very epic in nature. Again, that great guitar tone that they have on this record. And just a great way to end a record that always kept me engaged. And I think this is the strong suit of this record. I think they were able to put like great songs scattered here and there, and not everything front loaded, and then you have like a second half that is not as great. No, this album never lost my attention. I was always engaged with it, and every time that I listened to it, I found like different nuances, and the way that the orchestration is not there to overpower Wolfheart, but more to give the songs more like strengths. It gives them like a backbone to have them be more memorable. So yeah, I think the band really should keep exploring with orchestration, but do it this way. Not let like orchestration be everything and overpower the Wolfheart sound. And I think very promising what they're doing, and I think the way that they did it really flows really well. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Wolfheart and Draconian Darkness? What are your favorite tracks from this record? And if you haven't seen, I had an interview with Tuomas and we talked more about this album. I'll put it somewhere around here so you can watch that interview and tell me what are your favorite tracks on this record. Give me a like if you like my videos and subscribe to my channel. It helps me to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, couch. This is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.